Reg, okay, so hierdie is dan nou die addisionele notas wat ek vir julle gestuur het. Dis basies dieselfde. Daar's hier en daar addisionele notas wat julle kan gebruik, maar julle het dit ook op julle tablette. So kom ons gaan gou deur die verduideliking en dan kan ons die huiswerk begin doen. Goed, so ons het klaar gepraat oor die bou. Ons het gesê die bou is 'n Italiaanse sonnet, so the structure is that of an Italian sonnet. Bestaan uit 14 versies, which you already know, 8 versies wat ons dan noem die oktaaf, en dan 6 versies wat ons dan nou noem die sestet. In this poem then we have the 8 lines to begin the poem. The octave, in this case it is broken up into 2 quatraine, 2 quatraine, 2 quatrains, meaning 2 stanzas of 4 lines each. Then we have the 6 versies, the sestet, and then that is also then further broken up into 2 tercines, 2 tercines, which is 2 stanzas of 3 lines, right? Die rymskema in die algemeen, we spoke that about already, is the ABBA, ABBA, CDC, CDC, where in huiskat, the rymskema is changed to be ABBA, CDDC, EFF, GGE. Daar slegs 2 quatraine gevolg deur die sestet, so usually you will have the 2 tercines. In this case we don't have the 2 tercines, we only have the 2 quatraine, for 2 stanzas of 4 lines each, plus then 1 stanza of 6 lines. Die sestet is altyd die toepassing. What they mean by that is, in the octave, we usually have information about the topic on which we are discussing, in this case, which is the house cat, so it describes to us the house cat. Then in the sestet, the second part, we have more of a description of the cat's behavior rather than just looking at what the cat looks like. Okay, so that's what they mean by toepassing, the application. Die huiskaart word vanaf 'n uiterlike na die innerlike beweeg. So basically what they mean here is, in the first 2 stanzas, we see the outward appearance of the cat. But in the second, or the last part, the sestet, we see the innerlike beweging, the inner movement, meaning we see more of what makes the cat tick, in other words. Die leser is bewus van die kat se interaksie met die mens. So the reader is aware of the cat's interaction with people. Deel van die bou het ons dan nou die enjambement, wat ons ook al oor gepraat het. We spoke about the enjambment. Dit verdoesel of hides die streng rym wat in die gedig voorkom. So it hides the strict rhyme scheme that we have in the poem. You don't really realize it if you read it as intended, not pausing at the end of each line. Dit dien as visualisering van die kat se lui aaneenlopende continuous bewegings. So it serves as a visualization of the cat's lazy continuous movements. Remember what enjambement is. There's an explanation. It's when one line goes over into the next line without any punctuation at the end of that line. Good, this is just the poem. You already have that. This is the English example or English translation of the poem. Remember, guys, that the English translation is not necessarily perfect. So it's a rough translation for you to just have an idea, especially with words like behoedsaam, reserved, carefully, those kinds of things that doesn't necessarily fall into your vocabulary that you use every day. So it does help with that, but it is not perfect. All right? Good. So if we go to stanza 1, we have omarmde rym. Omarmde rym, if you're unsure, it's when we have buig en suig, that rhymes, and lek en oopgevlek. Okay? Remember again, rhyme, especially end rhyme, has nothing to do with the spelling of the word. It has to do with the sound of the word. Okay, so sometimes you will see that the rhymes are not necessarily going to fit in with the spelling, but the sound of the word is what is important. Okay, so omarmde rym there. Then we have the word strak en strak, alliterasie van die ST. Remember, alliterasie is the repetition of consonants or consonant sounds. That is why we're not saying the alliteration of the S, alliteration of the T, alliteration of the R, but alliteration of the str klank. Okay, so that is important to note. Then we have the word luipertlies. We spoke about this already. Verwys na die ongetemde aard van die kat, the wild nature of the cat. So lenig soos 'n luiperd, as supple as the leopard. Dis 'n metafoor, want die lies van die kat word gelykgestel aan die van 'n luiperd. Dit kan ook dui op die kat se soepelheid of die kat se wilde aard. We've already explained all of that. Dan, as ons kyk na die woord, sy is sonder siel, die persoonlikheid van die kat, the personality of the cat, she is without soul. So, there's no real personality that you can see in this cat. She's different every day. Then again, we have the S alliterasie, sy is sonder siel. Smal skrewe van haar gaat refers to the form or the shape of the cat's pupil, die vorm van die kat se pupil, en die kleur van die kat se oë, the color of the cat's eyes. Die kat se oë word direk vergelyk met klein deeltjies van die edelsteen. So the cat's eye is then directly compared to the small parts of the cat, the gemstone basically. Also remember, we are saying here that it's directly translated, which means that it is a metaphor, the same as with luipertlies. Goed. Driehoekige gelaat, die vorm van die kat se gesig is driehoekig. So the shape of the cat's eye is triangular. Alright? Reptiele is koudbloedig, so reptiles are cold-blooded, so cold matches in with the word reptiel here. Dis 'n gepaste vergelyking, so it is a fitting comparison, but it dui ook daarop dat die kat gevoelloos is. It indicates that the cat is emotionless. Arglistig, we said, is skelm of slim of cunning or crafty. Alright? Just to give you a visualization, of course, of what the cat's eyes look like. Die skerwe of skrewe is that thing, the pupil, whereas a heart is the cat's, the color of the cat eye. Usually a goldish brown, sometimes with flecks of green as well. Something that I noticed that isn't in any of the slides that I think you should just make a note of is if you look here, dat keel en bors en buik die son kan suig. This is also an example of personification. I'm going to try and write it in there, but it's not going to work very nicely. Okay, so there it is, personification. Okay, personificatie. So please just make a note of that so that you know that. Goed. Van los en lenig wees versadig. So this is the third stanza, which is the sestet. Los en lenig wees, we have the alliteration of the L sound. Die kat se drang om 'n maat te kry is weg. So the cat's need to find a mate is gone. Die kat kan dan ook 'n metafoor wees vir 'n mislukte verhouding. So if we look there, she doesn't want to find a mate anymore. So this could be a metaphor for a failed relationship for the writer, for example. Reggemaak, dit is euphemisme vir sterilisering. So it's euphemism for sterilization. You know what a euphemism is? It's like saying hy het lepel in die dak gesteek instead of saying hy is dood, né? So instead of saying he died, you will say he kicked the bucket or something like that. It is a softened example or softened way of saying something cruel. All right? Dit is ook ironies, so it's also ironic, because die veearts het nie eintlik die kat reggemaak nie. The veterinarian didn't actually fix the cat, want daar was niks fout met die kat nie. There was nothing wrong with this cat to begin with. If we look the rest of this part, basically, ekstase in lewe, blah, 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 lines 11 and 12. Basically, om lewe voor te bring, geboorte veroorsaak angs en ekstase. So, because she's been fixed, she will not be able to experience this fear and happiness in bringing forth life. Steeds eenselfig alliteerheid, the double E assonansie, die kat wou nie, of hou nie van aanraking nie, the cat does not like to be touched. Then the word ek, die ek-spreker soek toenadering, maar die kat bly afsydig en koud. So the speaker, the ek-spreker, wants to touch this cat, she wants to cuddle the cat because it's her pet, but the cat doesn't want that. The cat stays away from her. Dan, die kat is altyd dieselfde, die kat kronkel soos 'n slang verby. So this last part, the cat's always the same in this case. She moves past the speaker, doesn't like to be touched, in the manner of a snake. Remember, we spoke in the previous slide, or the previous notes, we spoke about the kronkelende beweging, the zigzag movement of the cat, not in a straight line. Ja, that's it. Goed, titel. Die titel gaan oor 'n huiskat wat 'n troeteldier is. So the title, the poem is about a house cat that is a pet, a troeteldier. Daar is nie 'n lidwoord nie, so there is no article or participle or whatever you want to call that in English. The and the D in front of it is not die huiskat of 'n huiskat. It's just huiskat. So dis verwys dit na die huiskat in die algemeen. It refers to the house cat in general. Nie 'n spesifieke kat nie. It is not referring to a specific cat, because some cats are the complete opposite of the cat that is being described here. But most cats share the same characteristics. They are independent creatures. They do not like a lot of human contact. They look at you as if you are dirt. It's not common or not universal in that case. Not all the cats are like that, but most of them are like that. En dan die tema, simple, theme, dit gaan oor die gedrag van 'n huiskat. It is about the personality or the attitudes of house cats. And that is the end.